Hey guys, Corey here. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing my first video series, which I think is pretty cool for me. I'm going to try to I'm going to try a lot of new things for this series. I'm going to use more than one camera, so I'm going to try to get multiple camera angles. That's something I've never done before. I now have some decent video editing software, so hopefully I'll be able to edit these videos a little bit better than what I have in the past. And I'm going to try to post, I don't know about every week, but definitely every 2 weeks. And what it's going to be over is I'm going to build my own tent. So I'm going to build a hot tent, which means a tent that I can use a wood stove in, a small wood stove. What I got in front of me is not all the pieces, but at least one of each piece that I will need to make the tent, and I also have some tools. So first I'll go over the tools I'm going to be using. Before I get to that, once I talk about this, I'll cut the camera off and I'll switch over to a whiteboard, and I've got some drawings up there and kind of some notes and stuff, and I'll run down through that with you guys too. But the overall dimensions of this tent are going to be 8 feet long, 6.5 foot wide. If all my calculations are correct, and I'm good at cutting this fabric. It's going to be just a little bit over 6 foot tall. Excuse me, about 6'3". Mainly meant for one person. I'm kind of gearing this more towards something I can throw in the back of my four-wheeler or in the back of a truck, and I can put it up by myself. So I figured with an 8 foot by 6.5, you can fit 2 people in there. Primarily though, it's going to be designed for one. For now, we'll see later down the road if I want to tackle another one. But this one here, more of a one-man, all-weather type hot tent. So some of the tools, I have a roller right here, and this is so I can roll my seams. I'm going to glue all my seams, and then I'm going to sew them as well. And when it comes to sewing, I have a sewing kit right here. It's got wax thread, several different size needles, and some other stuff. I am going to try to hand sew all this. I'm probably not going to like it, but I'm going to try to do it, and we'll see what happens. For grommets, I actually bought a grommet tool. It's just simple. You put the grommet top and bottom, squeeze it, and it cuts the material. And then I have a whole bag of these. This is just a little bag. I have an X-Acto knife, so that way when I'm doing cuts on thread or some of the material, I think it'll be a little bit more accurate with an X-Acto knife. This is just a kit. The rest of this stuff, that's really all the tools that I'm measuring tape, stuff like that, obviously, but for actual tool wise, that's pretty much it. So for the tent and all the stuff that goes along with that, I've got it laid in front of me. I'll just kind of walk through. I got Velcro, 1-inch Velcro, and that's for my windows, and primarily the windows. My dog just did something crazy. So primarily the windows on the outside. I'm going to Velcro them down, or if I want to open them, I can just undo the Velcro and then run some guy wires down, and the window can be held out, or I can roll it all the way up, which I'll describe that more on the whiteboard. And as for windows, I also have some of this fiberglass insect screen. I have a big roll of 1-inch nylon webbing. I've got metal D-rings. And this is definitely not all that is going in with the tent. Some of this stuff takes a long time to get here due to the supply issues through COVID. So I have enough to get started, but I don't have enough to get finished. I don't have any of my electrical, so the lights that I'm building to put in there, I don't have any of that. Or I want to mount solar panels on, I don't have any of them yet. and I don't have the solar powered like a battery generator. But that'll all come further down the road, and as I get it, I'll be doing videos on it. I got some Gorilla fabric glue here. I got some 3M high strength 90. This is the strongest adhesive I could find. I also have some of the Super 77, but I'm going to try to use the 90. So every seam will get this spray adhesive, and then it will also be sewn. So I'm hoping that no matter how much stress is put on it, that it will hold. I got a zipper here, pretty big zipper. The front door will be pretty much a zipper all the way from the ground to the peak of the tent. I've got a stove jack here. This is a 4-inch stove jack. So for my stove, I plan on running more than likely a guide gear, so Sportsman's Guide. Most are probably familiar with that website. They sell a guide gear stove, the small. I think we'll buy that with the accessory package and maybe some extra stovepipe as well to make sure I get a good draft or good draw. This is just a fire blanket, so where the stove is closest to the wall, I'm gonna glue this to the wall and probably stitch the corners and some other areas, so that way the heat from the stove will hit this first before it gets to the actual wall of the tent, and that's just more safety precaution for myself. Heavy duty, these are steel stakes, they're not aluminum, so they're pretty heavy, but they're also a lot stronger. Here I have a guy wire, I have a whole pack of them right here. Gray with small reflective pieces woven into the material. My tent poles I'm going with are just a snap together design, and I'm doing this more for the ease of packability. Each piece comes with 6, I believe, and it just snaps together. It's kind of spring loaded, so you'll see on the end here it has a pretty long metal, I don't even know what you call it, dowel on the end, and that'll go through the grommet to hold the guy wires so I can stand it up, and then the bottom of each of them is capped with a plastic cap, and then it just pulls apart. As for the actual material of the tent, I chose a 1000 denier Cordura. It's waterproof. It's a camouflage material here. It's actually a lot lighter than what I thought it was going to. It's thinner, I guess, than what I thought it was going to be. It's not terribly heavy. Excuse me, I'm hoping by the time I get my tent done, everything on the tent minus the stove, I'm guessing it'll be around 45 pounds. So the stove with accessory kit and extra stovepipe weighs 60, what was it? I think it was 61 pounds. I think I have it wrote down on the whiteboard. So I'm looking around 100 pounds. That's stove and tent with all the, the poles, the stakes, the guy wires, all that stuff, to include the lighting. Now that does not include solar or the battery generator. But this material, it's pretty light, so I do like that. I think it'll be easier to set up. It's thinner than canvas, but thicker than like the blue tarps you buy at Walmart. The only thing about this camo pattern is when I seen the pictures I got this off of Amazon, but it shipped from a fabric store. I thought the camo pattern was shifted differently, so now when I use it on my tent, the trees are actually going to be going from left to right instead of vertical. They're going to be going like horizontal, parallel to the ground, whatever. Not a huge issue for me. I mean, I don't really care, but it would look, I guess, more aesthetically pleasing if they were going in a vertical, kind of like how trees should go. But at the end, it's no biggie. This is just kind of a for fun build. Like I said, I don't have everything right now, but I do have enough to get started and start making videos. So what I'll do right now is I'll cut this off and I'll rotate and I'll have you guys look at the whiteboard and I'll kind of walk through, give you more kind of a actual picture description of what we got going on here. So I'll switch you guys around, get back at it in a minute. Alright guys, so here I got you turned around. As you can see, you got the tent overview here. It's 8 foot long, 6.5 foot wide, 6'3" tall. The walls are going to be 45 inches. The window, I'll have one on each side and a vent on the back wall. There, I'm going to have my stovepipe coming out. Over here, I just kind of got my running, I don't even know, list. But it'll be 1,000 denier Cordura, 4-inch stove jack, zipper door, 2 cover windows, and I'll explain the question mark in a minute. A vent above stove. I will have solar attachments, so that's, I'm going to put some D-rings on the roof there so I can attach some solar panels. All windows will be covered with mesh. I'm going to have LED lighting, guide gear stove, 10 poles. So there's going to be 4 poles on the wall, of course 1 pole in the middle on each side. My roof angle, I figured it up at 52.5 degrees. So I think that's pretty good right there. It should shed water pretty easily, or snow. All my seams that I have are going to be overlap, so it'll be a 4-inch overlap. Also got like the tent weighs 44, stove 61, nylon webbing. So I'm going to run nylon webbing in all the seams here that have any poles attached or anything else attached, like these D-rings and the lighting. And that's just to reinforce the tent itself. Let me move you guys down. Alright, so as for the tie out, there's 2 different ways to tie out. I can either do the corners where I got one going out in an angle, the 2 other ones on the wall just go straight out, and of course the ones on the end go straight out. Or if the ones on the corners going out at a 45, if they don't hold well, I can always just throw one straight back and one over. But as you can see, I mean, that's kind of a lot of guy wires, more to trip on. Windows, I'm going to have it to where if it's raining, I can angle the window cover out and then just run a guy wire down, or you can roll it all the way up. There is the, I'm going to take a strip of Cordura and put it around the mesh of the window. I think I'm going to do my windows about 1 foot by 2 foot. And they're going to be centered on the wall here. So there'll be Cordura, mesh, and then the actual tent wall. And then I think that'll give me something really good for my sewing thread, my waxed sewing thread to grip onto, so I don't have to worry about that. Bring you guys down. One more. Alright, so cord management, all that is the cord's coming from the solar panel. I'm going to probably put 3 layers of Cordura. I'm going to glue it and sandwich it together, and it'll be on the above the door of the tent. And then I'm going to cut my X so I can feed my wires through. Here, my wires are going to be coming off the top, going down. I'm going to build a little just fabric box pretty much to keep the rain out. I'm going to run my cord up and then it'll go inside the tent. I want this cord to definitely like hang down, so any water that's coming down the cord from the solar panel, if it should be raining, will not go into the tent. It'll just drip off here. So here is this corner of the tent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue 1-inch strips of the material, and that way I can run my wires along the corner of the tent. Right there's the corner, and that kind of gives you a visual representation of how the strips will be laid out. That way I don't have anything hanging, or you don't have to worry about anything falling down or anything like that. So the question mark is, do I want a window in my tent door? I'll bring you guys back up. If I do put a window there, I don't know. I don't know if I want a little square, if I want a triangular window. Do I want one on each door? I don't know yet. So I'm still trying to decide that. Alright guys, so hopefully you got something out of that whiteboard. I know sometimes I have a hard time explaining things when I'm trying. In my mind they sound amazing. Then I say it and it doesn't sound very good. But that's going to be the video series. Just going to be me building a hot tent. Like I said, I'm going to try to produce a video. If not once a week, it'll be every other week. A lot of it depends on how much time I get to spend on doing it with work and stuff like that. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm pretty excited to do it. And as long as I don't go crazy with all the sewing that needs to be done, I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty cool project. So, hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys follow me on this little adventure. Until next time, see you later.